General population are safe to do hip series unless you're waiting for any type of doctor's clearance. Sometimes we recommend people, if they are having MRIs done and don't quite know what's going on with any dysfunction, we want them to hold off. However, if it's just a lack of endurance or strength, what we always recommend to our class is that when we're going through the series, we want to not sacrifice form for function. So what we can do is really focus on having proper form and working up the repetitions to full strength so that people can work on their endurance to maintain the posture. A lot of the time we see people fatigue either on the upper body maintaining their frame, or they don't quite have the flexibility in their hips. So doing the movements is what's going to help the musculature endurance so that you can continue to grow. In the golf swing, we want to make sure that we have access to both sides of the hips, not only in our backswing, but initiating the top of the golf swing. So when we're doing our hip series, we're focusing on our deep hip rotators and our glute strength so that we know from hip to hip we're as balanced as we can be before we go perform. Okay, getting into our active hip series, we're going to go ahead and get into a tabletop position. Hands are going to be directly underneath the shoulder. We're going to spread those fingertips nice and wide, gripping the ground, actively pushing our chest away. Knees are going to be hip distance apart. We're going to tuck the toes under. I'm going to demonstrate everything on the right side here. First position, we're going to think of pulling the knee up towards our elbow. Toes going to stay flexed. Then we're going to rotate that same knee out on the shelf, keeping this drawn up. Extending the leg back, rotating the toe down for a toe tap, and then drawing the knee back into start. So fluid motion is going to be through here. Let's go ahead and start together. Knee up towards the elbow. Rotate out on a shelf. Straight leg back for a toe tap, then drawing back into that start position. Set your pace here. We want to be very slow and intentional, making a big circle with the tip of that knee as we go. We're going to do 2 more this direction. Feeling that right glute working for you. Good. 1 more here. Getting back into that starting position. We're going to do the same movement in reverse on the right side. So we're going to take that right leg long behind us for a toe tap. Rotate it out on a shelf. Toes flexed up. Sweep it back towards the elbow. Back to your starting position. Go ahead and set your pace through these three markers. Toe tap, rotate the knee out, sweep towards the elbow. Actively pushing the ground away, no bend in the elbow. We're going to inhale that leg long, exhale when we draw that knee up and around. 2 more this direction. Last one here. Last movement here on the right side, get back into that start position. We're going to take that right leg long behind the left glute, opening up right side body. Keeping that knee elevated, we're going to go ahead and crunch that knee up, back into extension. Big breath in. Exhale that knee up and around. Again, no break in the elbows. Use your breath to match your motion. Tapping the toe, we inhale. Exhaling the knee up. 2 more here. Last one, and break. Very good. I'm going to reposition here. We're going to do the same 3 movements on the left side. Let's go ahead and press the ground away. Spread those fingertips wide. Hands are right underneath our shoulders. Knees are hip distance. We're tucking the toes. Moving everything on the left. Let's draw the left knee up towards the elbow. Rotate it out on a shelf. Straight leg back for a toe tap. Draw it back into that start position. Very deliberate circle with the tip of that knee. We're going to keep our toe drawn up so we engage glute and not have our calf take over. Look for a break in the right arm here. If we have a bend, let's reset and push the ground away. Good. Let's do 2 more this direction. Then we're going to reverse our motion. Good. Back to that starting posture. Reset if we need to. Left leg's going to go long behind us. Tap the toe. Rotate that knee out on a shelf. Sweep it up towards the left elbow. Back to start. Big breath in when we extend. Exhale that knee up and over. Right glute stabilizing our body as we move through the left side. Good, 2 more here. Belly button's drawn up towards the spine. Good, back into that starting position. Last movement here on the left. We're going to take that left leg long, opening up that side body, tapping behind the right glute. Rotate that knee up and around. Big breath in. Exhale it up. Actively feeling that hip bone compress up towards the rib cage on the left. Big breath in. Exhale it up. 2 more here. Last one. And break. Good. Let's go ahead and lengthen out into child's pose. Let the knees spread. Stretch out those fingertips wide. Big breath in through the nose. Exhale, let it go. Couple more big breaths here. Then we're going to reset for our sideline hip series. Last big breath. What can you release here? All right, we're going to get repositioned for our sideline hip series. So let's go ahead and get on either hip we want to start in. Knees are going to be stacked out in a 45 in front of us. We're going to support the head and neck here. First movement we're going to be doing is clamshells. Movement, let's think of elevating the legs off of the ground. Ankles are together, knees are separating. Feeling our top glute and side body working to keep the legs elevated. Good, 2 more here. Lower down, nice and controlled. Next movement, we're going to do reverse clamshells. We first still elevate both legs. Knees are together, we separate at the ankle. Feeling that top hip rotate down and in. That's what's going to create that separation. 2 more. Last one here, lower down. Final movement on our sideline, runner shear. Let's get both legs elevated. Bottom leg stays at a 90. Top leg moves front to back, keeping that knee at a 90. You're going to feel your top glute pull that knee and stack it underneath your hip. Side body on the right still working for you. Let's do 2 more. Last one here. Good. Final side. Let's go ahead and reposition. We're going to do those same 3 movements here on our opposite hip. Knees are stacked out us in a 45. We're supporting the head and neck. Let's go ahead and get into clamshells, elevating both legs. Knees separate, ankles stay maintained together. Good, feel that top hip and side body, keeping the legs elevated. For 2, let's lower down. We're going to reverse those clams on this next one. Let's go ahead and elevate both legs. Knees stay together, separating at the ankles. Feeling that top hip rotate in. Good, 2 more. Resting in between. Last movement, runner shear. Let's go ahead and get both legs elevated. Bottom leg stays stationary. Top legs moving front to back, keeping that knee at a 90. You want to feel that glute. Pull your knee back behind you. Front of the hip's going to rotate it up forward. 3 more. Good. 2. And 1. Perfect. Great job, guys. Let's go ahead and rest up, get a drink of water.